Page 124, Shulchan Aruch. What do you have to do in order to be obligated in the bracha of Asher Yatzar? How much of the bathroom do you have to go to? if I can put it in those words.
Enough to be comfortable that you can do all the morning breakfast.
So we're gonna see this all in great depth in the next few pages. And we're gonna get to some kind of other topics that are gonna be interesting to discuss.
After bathroom, you'll do something better.
If Jack is laughing, you know it's for a reason.
Yeah.
He knows the future.
By the way, where's your restroom?
Siman Zayin, the 7th Siman. Can you believe we once started in Siman Aleph? 7 Simanim in. This is like the number of Mashiach. 7. Din levarech berkat Asher Yatzar. The laws of blessing, the blessing of Asher Yatzar. Kol hayom, all day long. Meaning not just Asher Yatzar of the morning, but when do you say Asher Yatzar all day long? Achar, after hatalat mayim. Literally, the throwing away of water. Urinating. Uvo daled seifim. And there are 4 halachot. 4 subcategories.
Isn't that an unusual term? It's usually mentioned something after the glide.
Mei reglaim, the water of the legs. So here he's just referring to it as water. Aleph, halacha Aleph. Kol hayom, throughout the day, or all day long, literally, but it means throughout the day. Kshe'oseh tzrachav, when a person goes to the bathroom, not enters the bathroom, uses the bathroom. Ben ktanim, whether small ones, urinating, ben gdolim, or big ones. Remember we had these terms back earlier in Shulchan Aruch. Ktanim and gdolim. Exactly. Mevarech Asher Yatzar, a person makes the blessing of Asher Yatzar. Velo, but not the blessing of Al Netilat Yadayim. What does that mean? Why would you make the blessing of Al Netilat Yadayim?
Because you do that in the morning.
Because in the morning, right, you do these are 2 blessings that are done together. Netilat Yadayim and Asher Yatzar. But that, what he's saying is that's a one-time deal. Netilat Yadayim and Asher Yatzar. Afterwards, you only repeat the blessing of Asher Yatzar, even if you're washing your hands. Even if a person wants to learn, only hitpalel miyad, or to pray immediately afterwards, still washing your hands does not warrant the blessing of Al Netilat Yadayim. Haga, steps in the Ramah. V'hayu yadav meluch lachot, and if his hands were dirty, sheshifshef bahen, because he wiped himself with them. Afilu hachi, even in this situation, eino mevarech al netilat yadayim, you still would not say al netilat yadayim. Why would we think you would make an al netilat yadayim now if your hands were dirty? I mean, what changed? What is the Ramah adding? Maran says you don't make an al netilat yadayim, right?
Yeah.
What's the Ramah adding here?
If your hands got dirty.
Why would you think that if your hands got dirty, you'd have to make an Netilat Yadayim?
Because you're going to eat.
Because then you have to, then you know you have to wash them.
But you washed them before also. Meaning the Ramah is either adding or he's arguing. What is he trying to do here?
I think he's trying to clarify.
So what's he trying to clarify? I mean, we washed our hands, and the Maran says you don't make an Netilat Yadayim when you wash your hands. Clearly that means whether your hands are clean or dirty. What is the Ramah adding in now? It says, but even if your hands were dirty, you still wouldn't make it Netilat Yadayim. I'm going to give you a hint. There were 5 reasons why we make it Netilat Yadayim.
Well, it had to do with different things of sleeping at night.
Sleeping,
The evil,
Ruach Ra, evil spirit, the nighttime.
evil spirits.
There was one main reason.
You could have
Of the
touched
rosh.
yourself
You could have touched yourself, which would have made your hands
dirty.
dirty. Oh, very good. So here, one of the requirements, one of the main requirements of needing to make a bracha of Al Netilat Yadayim applies again. Because here your hands were dirty, and now you're washing them. even then, says Man, you don't make, and Ramah's adding, that's what Ramah's adding in. Even if your hands were dirty and like the Rosh, technically you would need an Antilat Yadayim, you don't need an Antilat Yadayim in this situation.
Because I was absent for some of the Netilat Yadayim stuff last year that couldn't get that out here. If you would need to wash your hands with soap and dirt, do you do that before or after the Netilat Yadayim?
Which kind of Netilat Yadayim are you talking about?
Let's say, in the morning, you wake up, you want to wash your hands and face. You want to touch your
According to us, you would wash your hands first and then do an Antilat Yadayim.
That's what I thought,
According to everyone else, you would wash your hands at the Yadayim and then make a bracha afterwards. Like for bread, you have this problem.
No, I'm saying there's two washings that occur. Because when you're doing this, you're not using soap and water.
Right.
Right? So it's a
I know what you're
separate
saying, and
action.
even then, when you wash soap and then you do the Netilat Yadayim and then you wash the Antilat Yadayim.
Are you supposed to wipe your hands? So let's say you go to the toilet, you wash your hands with soap and water. Now do you dry your hands then once, and then say the bracha?
I don't think you have to. I don't think you have to. It's a good question. Let's say wash your hands with soap and then you do Antilat Yadayim. Do you have to dry your hands before you do that?
It's a separate action. Like a separate thing.
Let's say Rabbi David Yosef. Halakha Buran, underneath the two lines. Aleph. Sorry. Just want to find the halakha for you. Alright. Bechol Pam, every time Shoset Rechav, that a person uses the bathroom, Ben Ktanim uven Gdolim, whether small ones or big ones. Notel Yadav Lachar Miken, he washes his hands afterwards. Uvarech Asher Yetzar, he says the blessing Asher Yetzar.
That's pretty universal. Huh?
Right, but there is an argument about it. Some want to say that just for urinating you wouldn't make an Asher Yetzar.
Really?
But we don't. Shulchan Aruch doesn't agree with that. וכשעומד להתפלל לאחר מכן, when a person stands up to pray afterwards, צריך ליטול ידיו, he has to wash his hands, אפילו אם לא שפשף בידיו. Even if he didn't wipe with his hands, ולא נגע במקומות המכוסים, and he didn't touch the parts of the body that were covered, for two reasons. משום נקיות, because of general cleanliness, a person should be clean. ומשום, and for a second rule, which is referred to throughout the Shulchan Aruch with the first word, hikon. Remember what hikon means? In the army, you have to stand behikon.
Correct.
All these words, attention would be the proper term, but not really attention. I'll translate it. Hikon likrat Elohecha Yisrael. It comes from the word mukhan, ready. Be ready, prepare yourself in honor of Hashem, the God of Israel. There's a certain halakha that when you come in front of Hashem, you're allowed to walk around in your pajamas, but when you come to pray, you don't pray. Hikon likrat Elohecha Yisrael. You should get dressed when you come to pray with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And there's a big dilemma with what it is that you need to wear in order to do tefillah. Remember in yeshiva, In Baltimore,
Is it applicable to San Diego?
it's applicable to a lot of places. In Baltimore, they wouldn't let us into the Beit Midrash if you didn't have a hat.
Did they care what was involved?
Yeah, and a jacket. You had to have a jacket. You couldn't come in without pants. I mean, actually, that wasn't on the rules. I don't think anyone ever tried it.
But it's still with a
But the idea
makeup of
was-
the place.
It's better to pray outside of the synagogue if you don't have a hat than inside with a minyan without a hat. Like the hat is what made you.
The priorities are.
The priorities were up. It was. I actually had the nachat of praying there this year in January without a hat. I walked in, but I looked a little bit weird because I had a tie and a suit but no hat, and I didn't look like a banker, so they didn't know what to do with me. What do you have to wear? It's a machloket. Generally, what you have to wear in front of someone important. If you were to go to a meeting, to go to a business deal, what would you wear? Now, it could be some people. I mean, America is America. Today, you could come in your bathing suit to work. I've seen people.
Steve Jobs used to wear cutoffs.
Right. I mean, like I've seen in the high tech world, especially.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other world, but the high tech world,
Yeah, they wear.
it looks like people in California, at least. I believe on the East Coast, everyone gets dressed up. Yeah, they're wearing shorts and t-shirts or jeans and that. So that would be, if that's what you wear to work, then that would be acceptable to come to tefillah in.
There's a
Not
book
sure.
called Dress for the Successful Man. In that one, California dress code is not applicable.
In California, we have a big problem with our dress code. My father, when he first moved from Israel, so he was a PhD candidate, so he came to meet his professor in Santa Barbara, UC Santa Barbara. And it was like the expert in whatever field my father was studying at the time. And so my mother said, he's Israeli, my dad. You wear a shirt and pants and you go to a meeting. Gotta wear a suit, this is America, these are professors. Yeah? So he put on a suit and a tie and pants and the whole thing. And he comes to the meeting and his professor had just gotten back from surfing. And he was wearing a bathing suit and flip-flops and a white undershirt. And my father said he never felt this overdressed in his entire life. Like, you feel like that guy's naked and I'm standing here in a suit. So then they had a conference later on of all these PhDs in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know, don't ask me why, I just know the story. I wasn't there for it. And my mom said, you gotta pack a suit. And he said, I've been in California for 3 years now. Nobody wears a suit. Nobody. The American academic world it's not like the movies. And so he refused to pack a suit, and she put one in a suitcase anyways.
That's good.
And he landed in Atlanta, and he walks into the conference dressed like he was in California. And there's his professor in a 3-piece suit. He says, what are you doing? You can't come here dressed like that. What do you mean? He ran up to his room, he wore a suit. Obviously, different places are going to have different standards of dress. You know, I once spoke with one of the Israeli guys who comes to pray with us. And I told him, I don't understand. Why the black polo shirt with the jeans on Shabbat? Why? You wear a suit the rest of the week. Why this? He told me something very interesting. He told me, do you know how much these jeans cost me?
It's his
He
best
told me he
Lululemon.
pays some $250 for the jeans.
Jordache.
He said, and
Rocket jeans.
this polo shirt, he said, together, I could buy 3 suits with this amount of money. He said, so for me, this is much more important than the suit. Now, if you think about it that way, then I should come also with jeans and a polo shirt to my... It could be, who buys... Forgive me, I don't want to offend anyone's stuff. Who buys pants for $300?
That's me. Lots of bankers.
Look, listen, those people have to make a parnasa also, the guy who made the jeans. But this idea is everywhere you go. So Mordechai Eliyahu used to have a problem. That he didn't want to have to get dressed up in his chief rabbi robe every time he wanted to pray mitzvah. So he had a custom that whenever someone knocked on the door, he would make sure he opened the door with sleeves rolled up and without a tie on. That way when he had to pray alone, that's how he could pray. Because that's how that's how he would greet somebody comfortably. So hikon, this halacha, it's not one to be taken lightly. The way you dress in important places, the way you should dress when you come to pray. Aval, but what if a person's not? He went to the bathroom now. He's not going to go pray right now. Ein tzarich litol yadav. He doesn't have to wash his hands. Ela im ken kinei achar shashat zachav gdolim. Only if he wiped himself with his hands when he went to the big one. O sheshifshef biyado achar shasa tzrachav ktanim. Or if he touched himself while he was making small ones.
So, maybe I'm jumping the gun, but it's not the act of touching the areas that renders your hands unclean. It's just by engaging in mereglayim or otherwise.
Well, that's what we would think.
Because you can do mereglayim sitting down or in a way you don't have to touch anything.
Right, well that's what we're arguing about. See this whole footnote that starts on 124 on the right side? And it goes through 125. And it continues to 126. Well, it goes to 125, sorry. It ends in a bit. All of that is whether you touch, you don't touch, you do this, you don't do that, yeah? Where would come from a person washes his hands after he goes to the bathroom. And here's the interesting halakha. And this is what Zev was getting to, but not exactly, because it seems like from the text here that if a person urinates but doesn't touch himself, he doesn't have to do until that tonight.
He doesn't urinate out of place.
That's why some rabbis say he doesn't have to do a Shaar. But all of this is when you're in the middle of a forest. What happens when you enter a bathroom? Do you remember those interesting halakha? What's special about bathrooms and washing hands?
Because they
Because
smell.
even if you enter your hand in,
Very
then
good.
you
Yeah.
have to do
Remember the halakha that even if you just stick your hands in the bathroom, you have to wash it afterwards. So what if you go there and you don't touch, you just... What would be the logical halakha? You would have to
Watch.
do until that time.
Is
Vimasan,
that Pi Kabbalah or is that?
it's a ruach ra'ah, so it depends how you're going to understand ruach ra'ah. If it's Kabbalistic, if it's... Right. Vimasan tzachav b'cheder shirutim. If a person goes to the bathroom in a bathroom, afidu lo shifshef, even if he didn't touch anywhere, afidu shelo letfilah, and even if it's not before tfilah, tzarich litol yadav, he still has to wash his hands. Machamat etzem knisato lecheder shirutim. Just because he entered into the bathroom.
So it's a makom that makes the hands technically unclean.
That's what it seems like here. The place is doing it. Let me just see this next halakha if I have time. I'm going to look something up for you. 125 on the top. Achar shasat zachav. After a person goes to the bathroom, eino mevarech berkat al netilat yadayim. He doesn't make the blessing of al netilat yadayim, ela rak berkat asher yatzar. Only the blessing of asher yatzar. Ela im ken b'shachrit, unless it's the morning, achar shakam mishnato, after he wakes up from his sleep, shetzarich litol yadav, you have to wash your hands, ulvarech al netilat yadayim, and to make an al netilat yadayim. Even if you don't need to go to the bathroom, the morning still has its own halakha of washing your hands. Hello, can I ask you to do me a favor and get me a book, please? If you go to the back, the second bookcase from the right. See there are a bunch of blue books? Like 2 books over from those blue books, you're going to find 2 black books with red things on their spine. You see them? But you're not going to be able to pull them out unless you take out those red books on the left, the 3 red books on the left. Thank you. Can you bring me both of those black books with the red? You have to like pull them sideways to the left. Maybe you have to take out some more books. Yeah.
You got someone told.
Perfect. Thank you. It was like a maze.
That's the test.
I saw a letter here. I didn't have a chance to research it, but now we're talking about the exact topic. So let me just look it up with you very quickly.
Was that Rabbi Abadi's
Yeah, I didn't know.
books on the website?
Oh, okay, yeah.
.org.
I've been looking for them for so long, and finally I found them in New York. And when I went to order a second copy for his parents, they already closed. They didn't have any more. Yeah. Wow, this I didn't believe he was going to write. I cannot tell you if this is going to be practical halakha or not, but it's a crazy opinion to know. Rabbi Abadi, I've quoted him to you before, some of his letters about Hagim. Unfortunately, I've not had the time since I bought the books to learn in them too much. The question is, the bathroom, is it really as tameh as the bathrooms the Shulchan Aruch was talking about, when if you stick your hand in it? I mean, has anything changed since then?
Well, it's not
Yes.
an outhouse anymore.
Yeah.
It's,
Right.
No,
Right, they have plumbing.
Yeah.
it's indoors and
Doesn't
all.
smell.
Let me read to you the question that was asked to Rabbi about it. האם אפשר ליטול ידיים בכיור הנמצא בבית הכיסא? Am I allowed to wash my hands in the sink that's in the bathroom, not the one out of the bathroom like most people do, the one in the bathroom? וכן, and also, האם גם בבתי כיסאות שלנו, in our bathrooms today, שהם נקיים, that they're clean, יש לאסור להיכנס לתוכם עם ספרי קדושה? Is it still prohibited to bring holy books into them? My assumption is not to read, but let's say you're traveling like me and you have a backpack that has books in them. So technically books have to be double covered to bring them into the bathroom. The question is our bathroom today really that dirty that we're not allowed to wash our hands there, and that we're not allowed to bring holy things into there? Listen to what Rabbi Abadi says. Batei kisaot shelanu, our bathrooms, ודאי שאין להם דין בית הכיסא לשום דבר. They don't have a halacha of a bathroom in any way or form. ואני טמא מכל האחרונים.
So, what time is it?
This is now, he's still alive now.
Oh, is it right?
Yeah. But there's a special kind of bathroom of the Persians. The Gemara talks about the bathroom of the Persians. This is the cleanest kind of bathroom in the world. You could do all kinds of things in there. Do you know what's special about the bathroom of the Persians? Not the
There's
Jews.
a hole in the wall and the tube and...
They went to the bathroom, but they instead of it going down, it went out.
Just wait.
to the street.
No, to wherever it wasn't in the room. So technically, it wasn't as dirty as most bathrooms. And so, all the rabbis today are writing books saying, well, our bathrooms are worse than those bathrooms, and that's why they're tameh, and da-da-da. So Rabbi Abadi says, "Ani tameh mikol ha'olam." I'm bewildered by all of the rabbis. שהעריכו בזה ויצאו לחלק בין בתי הכיסא של פרסים לדידן. They go out of their way to prove that our bathrooms are worse than the Persian bathrooms of the Talmud. And I have not found any logic in their words. He says nobody will argue that the reason why the bathrooms are considered dirty is because of the smell and the ugly things that are in there, he says. ואין ספק שבתי כיסאות שלנו לגבי בית כיסא של הפרסים יש הבדל גדול למעליותה. He says our bathrooms are much better than the Persians. Our bathrooms, it gets washed out. It doesn't just go out, and it doesn't smell anymore after the door is open and it writes all these things. And then what he says, listen to this halacha. V'lachen, and therefore, en safek, there's no doubt in my mind, shemutar l'dina, that halachically it's permissible, litol, I'm afraid to read this, to wash your hands, ulevarech sham,
Blessing.
and to say the blessing in the bathroom. You hear what I said?
So many opinions.
ובוודאי, and how much more so שאין איסור להיכנס לשם עם ספרי קדושה. Says how much more so that you can go in there with holy books. ואין צריך לומר שמותר ליטול ידיים שם גם לסעודה. He said it's needless for me to say that you could wash your hands there for a meal.
I wouldn't recommend eating it.
That's what other rabbis were afraid of. And if you say that we are better than Persian, then why not read
In this book.
Torah?
No, reading Torah while you go to the bathroom is a whole different discussion. Here we're just talking about bringing things in and washing your hands and making blessings after. And then it goes, V'uvda yadana. Do you know who Rabbi Abadi's rabbi was? It was much less controversial than Rabbi Abadi. That was Rabbi Aaron Cutler. Rabbi Aaron Cutler, the Rosh Yeshiva of Lakewood. The friend of Rabbi Moshe Feinstein. He said, V'uvda yadana. He said, the fact that I know Shara'iti Ba'atzmi. I saw myself at Kvod Mori v'Rabbi Zchuto Yegen Aleinu. My rabbi and teacher, his marriage should be a blessing for us, he says. Shenatal yadav b'vet hakiseh, that he washed his hands in the bathroom. V'zeh היה חדר קטן מאוד, he said it was a tiny room, ובקושי היה מקום לעמוד שם, you could barely stand inside of the room. והיה שם מקום לעשיית צרכים, וכיול אחד, it had a toilet and a sink, that's it. ומיד אחרי שיצא, אמר אשר יצא, and immediately after he left the room, he said אשר יצא. אומנם, he says, but, this is the big but. כדי שלא יצא שלא יצא מתחת ידינו מכשול חס ושלום. There should not be any kind of bad thing coming out from this halachic ruling. יש להדגיש, as I must emphasize, יש הרבה בתי כיסאות. There are many bathrooms today. ובפרט של הציבור, especially the public bathrooms. שיש עליהם ודאי דין בתי כיסא. They definitely have a halacha of the bathrooms of the Talmud. כי אב שהזומה בהם, because they're terribly dirty. ויש להם דין בית כיסא לכל דבר. Those bathrooms, and I'm not talking about those bathrooms. I'm talking about our bathrooms that we keep clean inside of our house.
But we don't need a backpack.
Okay, so here's where here's where it would come into handy, and this is let's say you're like me and you come to a wedding, and they put those 2 pitchers of water in a big bowl and they expect you to wash your hands over there, and there's 300 people want to wash their hands, and they're all too religious to go wash their hands in the bathroom. So can I fill up a cup in the bathroom, make a bracha outside, walk inside and wash my hands in the bathroom? I don't want to be as extreme as Rabbi Abadi and make a bracha in the bathroom. But is it really... We have to know, is the bathroom clean or is it dirty? If I'm in an upscale hotel and the bathroom is very clean, why not? Now again, this is something I would up my pay grade and ask our parents about. But it's a very interesting opinion because logically he makes sense. The question you have to ask yourself is the reason why everyone being so strict Kabbalistic in nature? Could be. Are we all Kabbalists? Maybe you, not me. And we'll have to analyze this further tomorrow night. God willing.
It's even more complex because they combine bathtubs and showers in there, and people are without clothing.
Right. Although a bathtub and a shower is much better than a bathroom. Rabbi, for example, holds you can listen to Torah tapes in the shower. It is just a shower room. Yeah. He said especially since it's better than what some other people do, so it's... Rabbi has an interesting halakha about this. But I have to tell you, this group, I'm glad we all got back together. So I wish you have a beautiful evening, and we'd love to see you tomorrow.